I do want to call the Chickasha City Council meeting to order. I'd like a roll call, please.
Patchett.
Here.
Irving.
Here.
Ginn.
Here.
Ebblethwaite.
Here.
Smith.
Present.
Alexander.
Here.
Burris.
Here.
Southard.
Present.
Grayson.
Here. And I'm a little bit behind the times. Georgiana, can you do the prayer for me? And Kia, can you do the pledge? Yes. Surprise.
Under pressure. Please bow your head with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to be here in these chambers tonight to conduct the business for our city and her constituents. We ask that you watch over all of us to help us and guide our minds and heart to make the proper decisions. We also thank you for letting the storms pass us by this evening, and please pray and help those that are affected by tonight's severe weather in our great state of Oklahoma. We ask that you continue to keep all of our employees safe, return them home to their loved ones after each shift and each day of business. And Lord, please watch over all of our military, both here and abroad, as without their sacrifice, we would not be here in these chambers tonight free. In your name we pray, amen. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Item 2, citizen comments. Up first, I have Mr. Kelly Boyd to speak on Shannon Springs Park.
Good evening, council. How's
Good,
everybody
Kelly.
doing? Hope you're doing well. I just want to come up and commemorate like the 1-year anniversary. Last year, almost to this day, we had on the agenda a $1.4 million renovation for the Shannon Springs Park Bridge. Also on the same agenda that night was a competing idea for the downtown pedestrian bridge brought forth by Chet Hitt and a multitude of guests. And I just wanted to kind of focus back in on the Shannon Springs Park Bridge. It's been a year, and we still need, engineering inspection. We still need to be able to plot a path forward for the renovation of that bridge instead of kind of just languishing. It's kind of just sitting there, getting a little older, and the recent floods haven't really helped it a whole lot at the foundation. So I just like to put that back into your purview. And also, we have an emerging benefit to the city. The Legacy TSET grants are before the city and before us to consider certain things that the Parks and Recs Board is looking to do, and we have the sports complex that's in need of renovations and updates, and I think Spencer is working on that. And not to speak out of turn for him, he's got plenty on his plate. But just going from memory, we have our Parks and Rec system existing, Shannon Springs Park and other parks, Washita and Centennial, all need some form of updates and, making it better for the increasing amount of people in our population now. I think everybody's probably noticed that we ticked up a bit to a little bit, I think, over 17,000. So we have some tough and maybe not so tough decisions in front of us. But I would encourage the council to take another deep dive into the park system, notably those clear and present needs like the bridge in Shannon Springs Park and a few others. And there's area sports complexes that are being built around us that are competing now. And so for 25 years, we've had kind of the best looking complex, in the region. But we're getting some competition now. So I'd like to put that before you and have you consider, if you would, when these competing ideas come about for the TSET grants and different large opportunities like this, that you could maybe we should cast our vision a little bit to our existing park system and see where we can improve that for the many, not so much just for the few, but there's over 200,000 people that attend or actually visit Shannon Springs every year. So pray that you could consider those. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Mr. Tom Rose.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to speak tonight about a subject I think that's very important in the city of Chickasha at the moment, and that is our country club or golf course as we have it now. All I hear from everybody is that golf is the dying sport. Communities are losing their golf courses all over the state and everywhere else. That's not true. It's far from the truth. Turn your TV on any weekend and you'll see a golf course by either male or females. Every university in this state has a golf team, male and female. Most high schools have a team. So what we have to do is make this one attractive enough to get people in it. Now my experience goes back 17 years ago. I moved to Chickasha. I bought a house on the golf course, had a golf cart, has a gate goes out on the golf course on the 6th hole. So I immediately joined the club like everybody else. It had recently been purchased by Mr. Jerry Morse from the Country Club Association. Well, first thing I found out was the monthly dues were $175 to $200 a month. And I don't think there's very many people in Chickasha that want to pay $175, $200 a month to play golf. So the next guy bought it, had no experience whatsoever as a businessman. He inherited a lot of money. He bought it. He put a lot of money into it, but he was on a cash in, cash out basis. And he didn't know who, his books were so bad, he didn't know who owed him a month's interest or dues, or if they owed him 2 months' dues, and he lost a lot of money and had to sell it. So he sold it to a developer who wanted to turn it into a development, maybe another Shadow Valley, which I don't want that under any circumstances. So he found out that he couldn't put a gasoline station on the corner of 16th and Country Club, so he decided to sell it. So we formed a local community. We raised $1,500,000 and bought it back from the developer. One of the participants put $300,000 into it and said if we would let him run it, he would put $400,000 into the $1.5 million. Well, that wasn't good enough for him, so he bought the whole thing and paid us all back our money that we had put into the $1.5 million. I don't know why it's gone now. Everybody tells me golf is a dying sport. It's further than anything else but. Turn your TV on any weekend and you'll see on Saturday or Sunday, all you can see are golf courses, golf tournaments. The tournament out here is the oldest in the state of Oklahoma, called the Ouachita Valley, every 4th of July. Every university in the state of Oklahoma has a university golf team, male and female. Most high schools here have golf teams. Little Amber out here has a golf team. So what we have to do is make it attractive enough and reasonable enough for people to want to come and play. I have experienced, the first golf course I ever played on was 70 years ago in Marlow, Oklahoma. That golf course is still there, running well and doing well. Beautiful course. We have a beautiful course here. My wife comes from a small Texas town, southwest Texas, population 1,000. It has a community subsidized golf course. It has had one since 1959. So there is hope for golf. We just need to find the right solution to it. If we can raise $1 million to put a leg lamp down on First Street, and then we're going to spend another $5 or $6 million to develop a park there, we certainly should be able to raise enough money to either subsidize contract it out or do something to keep it. It is a plus to this community. It would be a great loss to lose it. I hope that the council will find a solution. Maybe talk to the people down in Marlow, see what their success is, as how they've managed to survive 70 years. But there's got to be something done to save the golf course. It is a plus for the community. And I wish you well in your endeavors to find a solution to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And I forgot to set the timer, so Tom got 4 minutes. Let's see, that was all for citizen comments, so we'll move on to item 3, council communications. We have a presentation by Pat Brooks, Chickasha Community Foundation, on the Downtown Park project.
Good evening, everyone. A lot of new faces here. The Chickasha Community Foundation entered into a lease with the city of Chickasha, or technically with the Chickasha Municipal Authority, on the roughly 6.5 acres between the railroad tracks and First Street, south of Chickasha Avenue. It extends actually south of Kansas Avenue, south of Colorado Avenue a ways. And the lease was effective December 31st, 2021. And the purpose of the lease was to create a recreational park pursuant to the master plan that was attached to the lease. So in 2022, the first part of that was the development of the Arts Plaza, which is there today, and the renovation of the old freight building, which you know today is the visitor center there at the Arts Plaza. And as you all are aware, every day of the week, we have out-of-state visitors coming to Chickasha to see our Arts Plaza and our pop art that's there. So we dedicated that in November 2022, and then in 2023, we formed a community citizen committee and started working on the rest of the park. And that took most of that year to put that together, and it all the bells and whistles when you start dreaming what would you want in a park, and this being a privately funded park, not a publicly funded park. And so the eventual master plan for that came up with a miniature train. It came up with horse stable for carriage rides. It had some pretty elaborate playground structure for kids. It had a Legends Plaza to recognize some icons of our community, and the ones that are most talked about are Ada Scipio, Teata, and Wiley Post. Wiley Post was living and working in Chickasha when he made his trip around the world, his flight around the world. His employer was the primary financer of that endeavor. Toward the end of 2023, we had the plan, had it priced out, and it came in just under $10 million. And which is pretty deflating to me. Went to the Community Foundation Board at the end of 2023, and some of them were expecting it to be more than that. Anyhow, the decision was made to go forward. We developed a fundraising plan which was focused primarily on people out of this area, or organizations or businesses out of this area that still have connections to Grady County or business in Grady County. And as you can imagine, that list had a lot of oil and gas interests on it. And so we started contacting those folks. And the strategy, $10 million is a lot of money to raise. The $1.4 million for the Arts Plaza was more money on a private fundraiser that I had ever been involved with in my 50 years in banking here. So anyhow, one of the challenges we came up with was that, people generally think about parks being publicly funded, not privately funded. I talked to a gentleman up in Tulsa, which you all would know, and that his foundation did fund the principal funder of the gathering place up there, and you all are familiar with that part. Quick response back, which was no, and that he was very informative in his input. That organization doesn't put money in anything through their foundation that they don't either manage or co-manage. And so the Gathering Place Park in Tulsa today is not managed by the city of Tulsa. It's managed by the Kaiser Family Foundation. But anyhow, that was a one-off thing for them. They couldn't do that in Chickasha. Anyhow, we went through all of last year, 2024. The plan was to get, if we could get a challenge grant of $5 million and then be given a year to go out and match that. That was our strategy on how in the world, in Chickasha, Oklahoma, are we going to raise $10 million. Ultimately, we were not successful. Our foundation board had a meeting in February of this year, a few months ago, and decided realistically we just need to downsize this park. Maybe it's just the playground structure and the Legends Plaza, walking trail, a few things like that. See what we can put together for $2 or $3 million, and had made enough contacts the year before that we felt like that would be achievable. So then this first quarter, back to the drawing board, downsizing the master plan, see what we come up with. And then at the end of March, I think it was about March 28th, I get this email, some of you all may have gotten it also, from TSET, and all of you are familiar with TSET. They've been around for 25 years. This is their 25th anniversary. They're sitting there, a trust statutorily created or legislatively created with $1.8 billion in it. And so they announced a legacy grant opportunity. They're allocating $150 million to this legacy grant opportunity statewide. Minimum application can be $3 million. There's no cap on it. Rural applications are supposed to have priority over urban applications. And they want you to be creative and innovative, and it's all about wellness and healthy living. It's not about recreation. So we got together a steering committee with healthcare professionals and other people within our community. We've been meeting on a weekly basis, and the Community Foundation is going to make applications. The applications opened up April 15th, and they close June 16th at 12 noon. Really tight window. And so thank goodness we'd already had civil engineering done on that park space, but we've engaged an architect, a landscape architect. I talked to a healthcare professional here locally early on this. She said you need to go to Norman and look at the well. That's what they call it. It's thewellok.org. If you want to look that up, it's a Cleveland County ad valorem tax funded wellness center, and that Saturday morning we went over there. That's where their farmers market is. It was hard to find a parking place. That the bulk of the booths were indoors, but they had outdoor booths on both sides of the building. They do their farmers market Saturday morning and Thursday evening, 52 weeks a year. That's in the north end of the building. South end of the building is they have a demonstration kitchen for cooking and nutrition classes. They have classrooms that can be used by community or county citizens for different types of exercise classes or wellness classes, medical screenings, that sort of thing. If you go on their website, they just have a calendar, a daily calendar of what's going on at any particular hour of the day. Anyhow, our steering committee decided we want to pivot, and this isn't going to be a recreational park. This is going to be a community wellness center, and that requires a lease modification, because our purpose at this point in the lease we have is for the recreational park. So in your municipal authority meeting tonight, you'll be considering adding another use of premises to establish a community wellness hub promoting healthy living choices free to the public. And if you go to the logo, who's monitoring the screen here? The logo, yes. That's, our application is going to be entitled Grady Moves, a community wellness hub, building a better you. And so that's what this addition to the park will be all about. A lot of participants putting information together as far as the usage and the programming on this. It's exciting to see this come together. Anyhow, the use of purpose in that lease will need to be amended to allow this wellness hub to be built there. And then the other slide that was there is and you should have it in your packet, is a diagram of how the park would be laid out. To the right is the Arts Plaza and the Visitor Center, this is a little bit of an update from what you got in your packet. We just got this one Friday, and this will probably get updated again. At this point, there's the children's playground structure. It shows where the building is. That's going to be about approximately 14,000 square feet of a building coming in from the Kansas entrance. And then south of that will be off-street parking as well as expansion of the on-street parking. There'll be a walking trail. If you look at the building on the lower left, that's the urban garden for gardening, how to grow fruits and vegetables, focused more on youth, but it can be, we have one of our steering committee members is a master gardener that's on the faculty at USAO that's working on that piece of it. The big airnasium part of the building, it'll be the home for the farmers market, but it can be used for multiple things when it's not on the farmers market days. It could be pickleball, it could be what the indoor soccer called, foosball. Is that somebody who's a soccer fan in here? What is it? Futsal. I don't know what that is, but apparently it's really popular with young people. Soccer, basketball, different things like that. And then the other end will be administrative offices, classroom, demonstration kitchen, some of those, medical counseling room. So the use of premises needs to be amended on that Amendment 2 of the lease that you have for the municipal authority. The other thing that needs to be changed in the lease calls for all the improvements to be completed by December 31, 2026. Our application is due June 16th. We will find out if we make the first cut in September. And if we do, then we have an oral presentation of our project in October, and then we will find out whether we are successful or not in November. And if so, we can start, we put a shovel in the ground in January 2026. We think it'll take about 18 months to be able to build this and start it in operation, which would be July of 2027. So the lease as it stands right now says the improvements have to be done by December 31st, 2026, and we're asking that be changed to December 31st, 2027. So those are the only two things on the lease, other than the First Amendment of the lease was to allow us, the Community Foundation, to lease out the retail space in the visitor center, which is that west, roughly third of that retail space. And you all approve who we sublease to. And since it's opened, it's been subleased to Whitney Palisano, and she has advised us that her and her husband's work commitments are changing, or have changed on her father-in-law's retirement, and she would like to end her lease at the end of June, and Pamela Prather, who has worked for her at that location, would like to assume that lease and move forward on July 1st of this year. So I'd like to, and that's included in that amendment to the lease. I could keep talking, but you all got other things to do here. Any questions on, the purpose in the lease, the master plan update, and the change in tenants on the visitor center?
Pat, you're talking about the demonstration kitchen. Is that going to be something like PSO used to have, that EV Powers used to run?
I can't tell you I know what she did, but the OSU Extension Office we're talking to them currently as far as programming to help us in that part of it, and USAO may be involved in that part of it as well. Fruits and vegetables, healthy eating, healthy living, that's what this TSET legacy grant is all about. So, access to farmers market produce, how that should be
We're
prepared.
going to try to tie it to USAO's culinary program they're trying to bring on, or?
If I'm not involved in the detail of the programming, but Rachel Jones is the faculty member out there that's a master gardener, and she's bringing all that to the table. Really tight turnaround on this, as you can see. I'll quit talking. Anybody have any questions on any of this?
Pat, is the one that Cleveland County has in Norman, is that in the downtown setting, or what part of the community would you say
Yes.
generally that is?
If you go off, turn off onto Main Street, headed east off of I-35, and drive to the railroad tracks.
Okay,
And at the railroad tracks, turn south for a block.
okay.
You got the depot on the east side and this wellness hub on the west
I
side.
think I've seen it.
Yeah, it would be worth your while to go over there some Saturday morning this spring, early summer, and just see that facility. The south end of that facility is 2-story. Ours is gonna be 1-story. But it's, the functionality of it is gonna be very similar. So the Health Department, Grady County Health Department is on our steering committee. They have a little bit of concern about, what they would contribute to a city-owned versus county-owned property, but we're meeting this week with the county attorney to figure out how we make all that work. Anything else? Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, more council communications. I would like to mention, and I don't know if anybody else noticed, but this was brought to my attention by Mr. George Plummer, that on May 13th, the bridge east of town over the Ouachita River on 62 was renamed in honor of Dr. Ada Lois Scipio Fisher. Oh, wow. Yeah. Which it was something that Representative David Perryman put in for in 2021.
Wow.
So it finally trickled down to honor her and, her legacy and what she did for the civil rights movement here in Oklahoma, specifically, you know, the desegregation of the public school system. So I wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. I drove by there just the other day, and until George said something, I didn't even notice it. But it's not the green signs, like George was telling me, it's from the Historical Society, so it's a brown sign.
That's great.
Anybody have anything else?
I have a couple things.
Sure.
One, congratulations to our high school baseball team. They made it state tournament, lost out first round because Tuttle. But one of these days we'll stop meeting them in every first round of playoffs in every stinking sport. But they've gone to state 2 years in a row. And so great kind of, if you think back to where our baseball program was about 7 years ago, this is quite the upward trajectory. So they did a great job. Second, I know that people have talked about it off and on in various places, but the trains, blocking Ada Scipio, blocking Grand, is there nothing that we can do to stop them from just sitting there? There's nothing?
We supposedly was giving them tickets.
Cool, okay, that was my question.
You just
go
go
around.
around.
Every so often, we send
Well, yeah, I mean, I
strongly
know
worded
we-
letters, and
yeah.
we call, but the way they're federally protected with legislation, they don't have to listen.
They don't have to care what we think.
Choctaw and go over.
Right. I mean, that's, what everybody does, but when you get out, if you're coming, by the restaurant or out there, once you get to it, it's quite the trek to detour back around it, so.
It is, and the concern is always first responders, like what if there's
Yeah.
an emergency out there and, minutes count when you're in an ambulance ride, so.
Right. Okay, that was my question.
I'd like to say something if I could.
Yeah.
Last week was National Police Week, and I just wanted to say thank you to our Chickasha Police Department.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Lisa, for bringing it up. I didn't even realize that. Anybody? Charlie, you got something?
Yeah, I'd like to call attention to the extreme south end of 18th Street here in Chickasha, where it meets with Carolina.
You said 18th,
Yes,
Carolina.
needs some attention.
Needs TLC. Pronto. Thank you, Charlie. Got anything else?
I'm right with Eric on the train situation, and I don't think that's an acceptable answer if we can't do anything.
I mean, we can-
That means, I just believe we gotta keep trying. I think there's some parameters that they're supposed to live by, and when we catch them not living by those parameters, we need to turn it in, even if it's somewhat of a futile effort.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
They're gonna keep doing the way they're gonna keep doing until somebody really points it out. And we have citizens that just have to sit there and listen to it. Ding, 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 ding. Nobody wants to hear me keep saying that, but they live by it. And they're our friends and neighbors in our community. And they're flashing lights, and that annoying noise is doing nothing. And sometimes they wouldn't have to move down the track 3 cars, and it would clear the intersection, and the warnings would go away. But it's an insult to our community that goes on, and I thank you for bringing it up.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Lisa. Anybody else? All right, we'll move on to item 4, consent docket.
Move we accept the consent docket as presented.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Hatchett,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Heatherthwayte,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Abstain.
Southard,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Item 6, discussion and consideration, or item 6A, discussion and consideration of possible action to accept 7 Life Pack 35 cardiac monitors from the Grady County 522 EMS District with accessories.
Make a motion that we accept the donation of 7 LifePak 35 cardiac monitors with accessories from Grady County 522 EMS District and authorize the city manager and mayor to execute any necessary documents.
Second.
Discussion?
Question, Mr. Mayor? Yeah. and probably should be refreshed from actually reading my packet, but I don't remember, what condition are these in? Are these gently used, are they brand new, or what's? Thank you.
Guess that is a good question. You want to know that they're serviceable, right? Any more discussion? Roll call.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Southard,
Yes.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes, item 7, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
We're adjourned. I'd like to call the Chickasha Municipal Authority to order. Need a roll call, please.
Hatchett,
Here.
Irving,
Here.
Ginn,
Here.
Hebblethwaite,
Here.
Smith,
Present.
Alexander,
Here.
Burris,
Here.
Southard,
Here.
Grayson.
Here. Item 2, consent docket.
Move we accept the consent docket as presented.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Abstain.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Abstain.
Clark, Southern.
Yes. Either way.
Grayson.
Yes. Item 4A, on this, I would entertain a motion to pull it indefinitely, reason being that it contains incorrect information. So it'll be brought to us, again, in its correct form. That's why we pull this one indefinitely, because we're not gonna see it again.
Okay.
The name is incorrect, for the deed.
Okay, so motion to pull
Four-
item 4A
4A.
indefinitely.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Southard,
Yes.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Item 4B, discussion, consideration, and possible action to accept and approve amendment number 2 to lease agreement dated November 1st, 2021 with the Community Foundation, Inc. for the use of the premise relating to the downtown park and authorize the chairman to execute the same.
Make a motion to accept and approve amendment number 2 to lease agreement dated November 1st, 2021 with the Community Foundation, Inc. for the use of premises related to the downtown park and authorize the chairman to execute the same.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Ginn,
Yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
No.
Southard,
Yes.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Excuse me. Item 5A, discussion, consideration, possible action to enter executive session pursuant to Title 25 OS Section 307B3 to discuss the purchase or appraisal of real property located in the east half of the southwest quarter, Section 5, Township North, Range 7 West, commonly referred to as the Chickasha Golf and Country Club. 5B, reconvene open session. 5C, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve real estate purchase agreement with Chickasha Golf and Country Club LLC for the acquisition of approximately 70 acres of property, more or less, surface rights only, located in the east half of the southeast quadrant of Section 5, Township 6 North, Range 7 West, commonly referred to as the Chickasha Golf and Country Club. Item 5D, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve a maintenance agreement with the Chickasha Golf and Country Club LLC for the interim maintenance and preservation of approximately 70 acres of property, more or less, located within the east half of the southeast quarter of Section 5, I think I said quadrant earlier, but quarter of the Section 5 Township 6 North, Range 7 West, commonly referred to as the Chickasha Golf and Country Club, in the amount of $9,428.57, plus applicable utility costs to cover the period prior to closing.
I make a motion, we move to executive session.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Southard,
Yes.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Can I remember this? Do I need to take a motion to reconvene, or is it just a roll call?
Roll call.
We're going to go ahead and reconvene out of executive session. A roll call, please.
Hatchett,
Here.
Irving,
Here.
Ginn,
Here.
Ebblethwaite,
Here.
Smith,
Present.
Alexander,
Here.
Burris,
Here.
Southard,
Present.
Grayson.
Here. Entertain any motions out of executive session?
Okay, I move that we approve a real estate purchase agreement with Chickasha Golf and Country Club LLC for the acquisition of approximately 70 acres of property, more or less, surface rights only, located within the east half of the southeast quarter of Section 5, Township 6 North, Range 7 West, commonly referred to as the Chickasha Golf and Country Club, for the amount of $1.6 million.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Ebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
No.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
No.
Southard,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. I would also entertain, if anybody has any other motion, for the maintenance contract.
I move we approve a maintenance agreement with the Chickasha Golf and Country Club LLC for the interim maintenance and preservation of approximately 70 acres of property, more or less, located within the east half of the southeast quarter of Section 5, Township 6 North, Range 7 West, commonly referred to as the Chickasha Golf and Country Club, in the amount of $9,428.57, plus applicable utility costs to cover the period prior to closing.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Ebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
No.
Southard,
Yes.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes, and I don't know if we need to clarify, but the first motion was for 5C and the second motion was for 5D. That leads me to item 6, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
We're adjourned. I'd like to call over the Chickasha Municipal Airport Authority to order. The roll call, please.
Hatchett,
Here.
Irving,
Here.
Ginn,
Here.
Ebblethwaite,
Here.
Smith,
Present.
Alexander,
Here.
Burris,
Here.
Southard,
Present.
Grayson.
Here. Item 2, consent docket.
Make a motion that we accept as presented.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Ebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Abstain.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Abstain.
Southard,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Item 4, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.